I'm David Hall, and I want to tell you the story of Diamond Gusset jeans. I co-founded Diamond Gusset with my cousin Jeff Hall in 1987. He and my son were both karate aficionados. They were into the Korean form of karate. They wore dobaks. We discovered sometime along the way that a dobak has a gusset in the crotch. And the reason for the gusset in the crotch with the dobak is because they had to do a lot of forms and they had to do a lot of exercises, and they also kicked a lot. So that gusset enabled them to have the freedom of movement, to be able to do those forms and those kicks. We had a kind of a eureka moment where blue jeans are kind of binding and can be uncomfortable, and maybe a gusset would make improvements to the fit and maybe the functionality of the jean at the same time. We found out who sewed Jeff's and my son's dobak, and it was a little company out of Cookeville, Tennessee, and it was the Swangs. It was Mr. and Mrs. Kai-san Swang. And they were thrilled with our idea. We brought denim fabric to them in one of the uniforms, and we asked them, could they sew us a blue jean with the gusset in it. They agreed to do it, and they became lifelong fans because they were so enamored with the product. They were gardeners, and so they only gardened after that, and they made themselves some Diamond Gusset jeans also. So that's where it started. We determined that there was a little bit of comfort issue with the diamond shape of the gusset and the inner thigh. So we started testing shapes of gussets, and we ended up with what we think was the perfect match, which was a hybrid delta shape that completely eliminated any uncomfort with the gusset in that area, whether you were walking or sitting. And so then it was like, okay, we've got it. I've got to resign from Levi. This idea is just too exciting. This product, these samples with the delta-shaped gusset are just too perfect. And so at that point in time, I resigned and co-founded Diamond Gusset. So starting a small business, can take a lot of time and a lot of hard work before you ever turn your first dollar. I was really scared, to be honest with you. I didn't really leave with a lot of money, and yes, I had a pretty good job. I was in the six-figure range back in '87, so that was a lot of money to leave, but I hadn't really saved up a lot of money because I was a young man. You know, it took everything I had to pour into a startup. There are so many things involved in a startup that are so expensive, and before you could get selling a product, it can take a year and go through small production runs and test cuts and making patterns. It was quite frightening to leave a stable, job that I could have probably had for till retirement. I call it a hard decision, but at the same time, it was an easy decision. And I just knew it was better. And I knew there were so many applications for a gusset jean. Pretty obvious that you could bend and squat better. Your seating comfort was going to be better. If you can kick high in a karate uniform, you're going to be able to get your leg high and go up, over a fence, climb a deer stand, get on your roof and clean your gutters. I mean, everything is just more comfortable with a gusset. We sell a motorcycle jean, and the motorcycle jean is called the Defender. So it has the American flag patch, and that's no bull, it's really American made, 100% American made. And it actually has Kevlar in the hips and the knees and the seat. And I want you to know that this is DuPont Kevlar. This is the real deal. This is a real small waist jean, and that's why it's only got 3 belt loops on the back and 2 in the front. 5, because the 5 is the proper number of belt loops for a 29 through 32 waist. But from 33 up, we offer 7 belt loops. Most companies offer 5 all the way up. And then if you're a 46 and up, we offer 9 belt loops. So I'm really proud of that too. And we sell a lot of jeans because of those decisions we made. We also offer a pocketing called 230 drill pocketing that you will not get a hole in your pocket. What a compliment that was that Jack Daniel's reached out to me, and you know, they were high on our brand. We were at a convention at a motorcycle rally, and they asked me to join their table, and they introduced themselves, and one of them was the master distiller and the other one was the president of Lynchburg Jack Daniel's. And so they told me how much they loved the brand, and they had a space for me. And so I thought, wow, this can't be real. So, and then they hooked me on to going on stage and giving an impromptu speech on American Made, which I pulled it off somehow, some way. But anyway, they just opened the doors and paved the way for me to have this store here. And you know, I'm just thankful that they did that. This is a wonderful little town, and when you come to see the distillery, the Jack Daniel's distillery and tour, don't miss Diamond Gusset.